Okay, welcome everyone. So excited to have you here on this call tonight. I am Tracy Black, if you don't already know me, and I'll do my introduction in just a second. Joining tonight, co-hosting is the amazing Stacy Cook and the fabulous Sherry Placco, and it's going to be such an amazing call. We're going to be talking about how to banish the bloat. This is a gut reset for the holidays. And we cannot wait. Let's just dive right in. If this is your first time joining us, please use the comment box. That's going to be the best way for us to answer your questions. We should have a little bit of time at the end, but anytime during this presentation, if you've got any questions, feel free to type it into the comment box. Also, there is still time if you wanted to invite friends or family to come join. We would love to have them here. And we are recording, so you can share this with family and friends as well. So this is kind of a quick overview of what we're going to be talking about tonight. What is holiday bloat? What are the causes and some long-term effects? And then we're going to shift into going into foods that can help, some lifestyle changes, and then, of course, natural solutions. So, just putting this out there, this is not medical advice. Definitely talk to your doctor before you make any changes to your diet or lifestyle, including taking supplements, which we're also going to be talking about tonight. This is us sharing our experiences and things that we've seen with people that we've worked with. And if you didn't already know, I think combined, all of us, we've been doing this close. I've been over 10 years. I think Stacy's just about 10 years too. And so is Sherry. So combined, you've got like 30 years of experience working with natural solutions. Okay. So if you don't already know who I am Tracy. And about over 10 years, actually, my husband, Trevor, who's pictured here, was diagnosed with several very debilitating autoimmune issues. I mean, he could barely get off the couch. It was awful. And we went the traditional route. We tried traditional healthcare and traditional medicine. And really, it was just medications. That was kind of the only solution for us, was lots of medications, which really didn't work. But in addition to the pain medications, he did nerve ablation. He also took cortisone shots, and none of it really worked because we were just masking symptoms. We weren't getting to the root cause of his autoimmune issues, which turned out to be quite a few food allergies. Some other sort of things going on too, but I would say by and large, it was food allergies that were some of his biggest triggers. And that is really what set into motion, even before we started with Young Living. That is what kind of set us into motion, into seeing that like there was this whole world that we didn't even know existed, that food and lifestyle changes and natural solutions, we had no idea that could make such a huge improvement. And so once we did those things, we implemented those things, we were able to completely, it was like a total 180, turn his life around. And by and large, we adopted those same habits for our entire family for various reasons. We had all kinds of things going on in our family, and we found that food and lifestyle really helped with that. And so I felt we've kind of had, everything pretty dialed in with our family. But just in the last couple of years, I've personally noticed that I've been dealing with weight gain and bloating and mood changes, and my sleep has not been great. And maybe chalking that up to some hormonal changes like perimenopause. But this is what really made me want to dive even more into finding natural solutions that we'll be talking about tonight. And because of this, I've been able to shed 10 pounds of bloat, all gone, which I'm super happy about. And I feel great. Clothes feel great. I could go, great side benefit. I had to go shopping for new clothes, which I was very happy to do. It's very fun to go shopping for clothes when you are downsizing, right? I think many of you can relate to that. Okay, so do you ever get this? Do you get holiday bloat? Do you ever feel stuffed or sluggish after a meal, like after Thanksgiving, Christmas, right, or other holiday meals? Do you feel really run down between now all the way through New Year? And do you want to start the holiday season feeling energized? Like if you're saying yes, yes, yes to any of this, right? You may have been dealing with holiday bloat and you need some answers. And so that's what we've got tonight. And holiday bloat is definitely related to gut health. And if you didn't already know, gut health is not just in your gut. This can affect your energy, your mood, your ability to handle stress. Maybe there's a reason why we feel so stressed during the holiday season is because maybe our gut is out of balance, right? It's sort of symbiotic because stress can cause gut issues and gut issues can cause stress, right? It's all full circle. But gut health can also be related to sleep, as well as our immune function. Again, yes, I know, maybe kiddos or just being out, we get exposed to all kinds of things during this cold and flu season, but it's also related to our gut. And if we're not taking care of our gut, that's going to impact our immune function. So, what are some causes of holiday bloat? This might be a really good, screen to take a picture of or screenshot. But there's a lot of different reasons why you may get bloated during the holidays, and some of them are actually really, really surprising if you don't know what to look for. So, some obvious ones are eating too much, right? So, this has anybody ever dealt this? Tell me in the comments, okay? You're like, I'm gonna save my appetite for Thanksgiving dinner. I'm gonna eat nothing until Thanksgiving. I've totally been guilty of that, right? I'm saving my calories for that holiday party, right? Who else has done that? So here's the thing is when we do those things, we're more likely to overeat because by the time we get to the holiday party, by the time we get to that Thanksgiving meal or other holiday meal, we're ravenous and we eat way more than we intend to eat, or we often eat too fast. And both of them can lead to overwhelming the digestive system, which can make us feel bloated. There are other causes of holiday bloat, like trigger foods. So these are sort of foods that are typically kind of higher in like intolerance, allergies, allergy wise for a lot of people, wheat and gluten, dairy products. A surprising one is sugar. I honestly didn't realize that I personally have some intolerance to sugar, but when I combine sugar and like dairy together, oh, it's like awful. It's like I can't get out of bed. Like I feel off, like terrible. Ice cream, forget it. I can't touch it anymore, which is so sad. But a lot of times we don't think that sugar could be a trigger food, but for some of us it can be, as well as other sweeteners like sorbitol, fructose, that type of thing. Now, the big surpriser I feel like that's on this list is high fiber foods, because high fiber foods can actually help with bloat. However, if you eat too much, or maybe if you're sensitive to certain high fiber foods, they can actually cause bloating. So, what am I talking about? Cruciferous vegetables. So, I'm talking broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage, Brussels sprouts. Like, who doesn't love to eat Brussels sprouts for Thanksgiving, right? Like, roasted Brussels sprouts with like a balsamic glaze. Like, doesn't it sound so good? Yes. But if you eat too much of it, like many of us do, pointing fingers at myself, it can lead to bloating. The same goes for beans and legumes. It can cause bloating for many people. Sometimes even whole grains, right? Which we hear all the time. Eat your whole grains. It's so much better for you. The thing about whole grains, though, is that it can be a little bit harder for your digestive system to break down. And so that can often lead to bloating. The same thing goes for nuts. Like your beans and your legumes, nuts can be hard to digest for some people. Something that I love to eat are boiled peanuts. If you're from the South, you probably eat boiled peanuts. I'm Chinese, and so we also do boiled peanuts, but we put a little bit of star anise in there. But I love it. Like in one sitting, I'll be like, oh my gosh, I just had like 3 cups of boiled peanuts. Like it's so good. But what I notice is I have kind of a threshold. If I eat more than like a cup, I get very bloated. I feel awful. I have bathroom problems. So for many of us, we can still enjoy these high fiber foods, but what we want to do is make sure we're drinking water, adequate amount of water to help flush it out. And then we probably have some kind of a threshold. So, not saying you can't enjoy the Brussels sprouts or the boiled peanuts or the seeds that you like to have, but maybe you've got a threshold. Maybe it's like 1 serving, maybe 1.5 servings. But if you go to the 3 or 4 servings and overdo it, that might be kind of like your threshold. So, just kind of putting that out there. High salt foods, which is no surprise, but in particular, I feel like during Thanksgiving or holiday parties, it's very easy to miss, right? We might be eating, and we just kind of forget. So just be wary for that one. Traveling on a plane, right? High altitude pressure that can cause some bloating, as well as hot weather, right? So the body retains water. So you might be thinking, hot weather. Well, maybe you go to a tropical place during the holidays, right? And so maybe you're in Mexico or you're in Hawaii or someplace else. The hot weather can have you retain water. Dehydration, if you're not drinking enough, that can definitely cause bloating to happen. And not surprisingly, caffeine, but surprisingly, alcohol. I think a lot of folks don't realize that alcohol causes dehydration, which again can lead to that holiday bloat. Another one that I think is very surprising to many people, carbonated beverages can cause gas. Using a straw, right, when you're drinking beverages can also cause gas, as well as chewing gum. So just some surprising things to kind of watch out for. And then, of course, stress. So stress can slow our digestion, and it can also lower that beneficial gut bacteria. So just some things to kind of watch out there for. There are some medical conditions that can cause bloating that we're not kind of talk about tonight, because if you have those conditions, then you know what to kind of look for and to kind of manage with that. But in particular, like, if you've got IBS or other kind of digestive issues, right, you're going to know that. But typically, holiday bloating, right, should last 1 to 2 days. If you're experiencing anything more than that, like longer than a week, or it gets worse, or it's just persistently painful, you've got other symptoms, right? Diarrhea, vomiting, fever. Make sure you talk to your doctor. Okay, so typically it goes away in a day or so. But long term, right? Like if you're just sort of like frequently noticing that bloating is happening, it really is a signal your digestive system is probably not working as optimally as it should. And that's why we wanted to do this call tonight. And the other thing is sort of habits, right? If we're continuing to eat in this way for the holidays, for birthdays, on summer vacations, right? Like we're kind of doing this on kind of a semi regular basis, it adds up. And I think that's what I kind of noticed personally is the weight. It wasn't like 10 pounds overnight. It was like this gradual, weight gain that was happening because I was saving up for that, vacation. I was saving my calories for that next holiday meal. And then before you know it, over the next few years, it's like, boom, you've gained 10 pounds of weight. So just something to kind of look out for. What I've personally noticed is bloating, gut issues, right, are typically related to digestive system and to hormones. We could do a whole nother call on hormones, but those are typically the reasons why you're going to be experiencing bloating. But the other thing is, not making these lifestyle changes could lead to inflammation. And inflammation is what we will see with, a depressed immune function, lack of sleep, lack of energy, and other health issues. So that's kind of everything that you may experience with bloating. I'm going to now pass this over to Stacy, who's going to be talking about diet and lifestyle changes.
Thank you, Tracy. That was awesome. So many good points. Hi, I'm Stacy Cook. And before I jump in to tell you about some simple steps you can take starting today, like right now, things you can change to help with managing bloat and inflammation, I just want to tell you a little bit about me. For over 15 years now, I've been very aware of the foods I eat. And a big part of that was my husband's influence. Before I met him, I thought eating Weight Watchers Smart Ones out of the freezer section was a healthy choice. It's not, spoiler alert. But together, over the years, we have grown the habit of eating real whole foods, basically foods without ingredients. My husband has always been really into fitness and health, so he was a big influence. Thank goodness for that. But we've experimented with a lot of different ways of eating, everything from like keto to paleo to Whole30, all the things. And really what it's always come down to is that just simply eating real whole foods is what makes me feel the best, just nutrient dense foods, real foods. It served me really well, especially keeping my immune system in good shape. However, over the past few years, I feel like I've been living with that little bit of extra belly bloat that really wouldn't budge. And kind of like what Tracy mentioned, like I'm not sure, it could be due to getting older and my hormones having changed. I'm not really sure, but whatever it is, I was not okay with it at all. And so last year, almost exactly a year ago, I made some lifestyle changes and some tweaks to my diet and supplements, some natural solutions. And by doing that, I eliminated 15 pounds of bloat and inflammation that was just hanging on and not going anywhere. And I thought it would be with me forever. So it felt great. Exactly kind of like what Tracy said, just felt better in my clothes. And it's been a really great change. And like I said, that I started that about a year ago. And I think it was maybe after like 3 months that I really realized I had like lost this bloat that had just been hanging on and it's really stayed away. So I want to talk through some food choices we could make. And like I said, the best way to ensure that you are thriving is to eat whole foods, real foods, food without ingredients. And I know you have heard this before, but it is worth repeating because what you want to do is shop the outside of your grocery store, right? You want to avoid those inner aisles that are packed with processed, canned, boxed foods with lots of preservatives in them. And you really want to stick to those fresh fruits, fresh vegetables, all those things, the proteins, all the things that don't have ingredients. You want food that is the ingredients, doesn't have ingredients. So let's talk about some specific foods that will help minimize excess water retention, bloat, inflammation. Uh, so, like Tracy mentioned, fiber-rich vegetables are good. Those help to regulate digestion and reduce water retention. So, for example, cucumbers, leafy greens like spinach and kale. Now, some fiber-rich foods can irritate different people. So if you are irritated by kale or like those really kind of like harsh leafy greens, because I am, so I know how that goes, there are alternatives. So a real good gentle alternative that's still excellent for reducing belly bloat is zucchini. Zucchini is lower in fiber compared to many leafy greens, making it easier on the stomach, and it has a high water content to help with hydration, and that helps reduce bloat. Another good option that's less fibrous are bell peppers. Bell peppers are rich in water, packed with antioxidants, lower in fiber. And then carrots. Carrots are gentle on the stomach. They're packed with potassium, which also can help balance fluids. So another type of food that you want to incorporate into your diet are probiotic-rich foods. Probiotics support our gut health. They help balance good bacteria to ease digestion, reduce bloat. And some examples of probiotics you can incorporate into your diet would be, Greek yogurt, sauerkraut. Now, when I mention sauerkraut, I am not talking about like the jar of sauerkraut that is sitting in the inside of the grocery store that's like on a shelf, shelf stable. You don't want that. That does not have live active cultures in it. You want the refrigerated sauerkraut. There's a big difference. But also in the refrigerated section, you can find, kimchi, kefir, all those things are great probiotic rich foods. Other types of foods you want to look at are potassium-rich foods. So potassium helps to balance sodium levels, and that reduces water retention and bloating. So examples of potassium-rich foods are bananas, avocados, sweet potatoes, cantaloupes, lots of good stuff there. Now, I also want to touch on ginger and peppermint. So these are natural herbs and spices, and they have anti-inflammatory properties, and they can also relieve gas and digestive discomfort. So they're especially helpful if you find you've already overdone it and you're kind of already in that point of being uncomfortable. So you could just, incorporate fresh ginger root into your cooking or use it to make a fresh ginger tea. You could have peppermint tea. Essential oils are a good option too. I love Young Living's Digest. That is a blend. It includes both ginger and peppermint, among other botanicals that support the digestive system. And that's a great option. And then also you want to look at incorporating hydrating fruits. So high water content fruits are going to help flush out excess sodium and relieve bloating in your body. So anything, like watermelon, pineapple, those really juicy fruits, oranges, blueberries are all going to be great options. Now, there are some things that we want to avoid. So it's best to avoid foods that are known to cause gas. And uh, water retention or irritation to the digestive system. And Tracy already touched on a couple of these, so I'm gonna go through them a little quick here. But I do want to reiterate, we want to avoid things like alcohol, caffeine, simple carbs, like white sugar type of foods. Carbonated beverages, those do introduce gas into the digestive system. So all of those sparkling waters that we love sparkling water. When you overdo it on that, you can increase the bloat in your body. Um, you want to avoid highly processed foods, like canned soups, boxed meals with spice packets in them, salty snacks. All of that leads to water retention and is just not good for your body. Um, and like Tracy had mentioned, those raw cruciferous vegetables, broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, those contain raffinose, and that is a sugar. It's a trisaccharide, and it's composed of galactase, glucose, and fructose. And those can cause gas and bloating. Now, I'm not saying that these are bad for you because raffinose has actually been shown to have a positive impact on your gut microflora. But if you are someone who struggles with bloating, gas, digestive discomfort, then you definitely want to make sure that you are only eating those things if you are cooking them, because cooking them helps to eliminate some of that reaction. So you want to avoid them raw. Um, and then, just, as Tracy mentioned, like pay attention. How much? Maybe like you chill on the raw veggie tray and just have your like a little bit of your cooked Brussels sprouts. Um, but just something to be aware of with that one. And then obviously beans and legumes. Like we know beans, lentils, chickpeas, all those are really rich in fiber, but they do have certain sugars that can lead to gas buildup. So if you must eat them, you can soak them overnight and cook them really thoroughly because that can help eliminate some of those sugars or break them down before they're in your belly and break down there. So by avoiding some of these foods, you can definitely reduce the risk of belly bloat and support easier digestion. Now let's shift gears and just talk about some simple little lifestyle tweaks you can make that are also help with your digestive system. Um, and a lot of these but it's so good to be reminded of them because it's easy to not do these things, especially when it's the holidays and maybe like eating healthy or staying fit. Those types of things aren't top of mind. It's like enjoying the holidays with friends and family, but you will enjoy yourself so much more if you feel good. So, one of the things obviously is to just stay hydrated. So the recommendation is to drink half of your body weight in ounces of water per day. So if you weigh 150 pounds, you're drinking 75 ounces of water a day. Um, and even, you can consider starting each morning with a glass of room temperature water with some fresh lemon or even a drop of lemon essential oil. That will help you stay hydrated, and it also helps flush excess sodium and reduces water retention, while lemon supports liver detoxification, which can be really important and helpful during the holiday season. Um, Another thing you can do and incorporate is just eating mindfully and slowly. Yes, sometimes we save up all our calories to indulge in that holiday meal, and then we sit down at the table with our families, and the meal is over in 5 minutes. Like, no joke. We all like inhale the food, and then everyone is uncomfortable and can't talk anymore. So maybe even tell your family to slow down too. I don't know, make a contest. Who can eat the slowest? Um, but just take the time to like slowly chew your food, and take your time with that. And another thing we can do, which is always easier said than done, is to manage our stress levels. Um, so just practicing some stress reducing activities like deep breathing or meditation or even like gentle stretching and yoga can help. High stress can lead to digestive issues. And it's just better, you will serve yourself well if you can just take a moment to slow down, even if it's like 5 to 10 minutes a day for like a daily meditation, whether it's something you do on an app on your phone or a time for quiet with prayer, whatever works for you. Just take the time to help reduce stress levels because it's just naturally a stressful time. Um, so also adding movement every day. And it doesn't have to be like vigorous CrossFit workouts. It can just be some gentle movement every day. Really, what's more important than anything is that you're consistent. You're served better if you do 30 minutes a day of walking around your neighborhood versus 1 hour-long CrossFit workout a week where you like can't even walk afterwards. Um, so the recommendation is to, just engage at a minimum of like 30 minutes of whether it's walking, stretching, low impact activities like Pilates or yoga. Just moving regularly stimulates your digestion. It will reduce gas buildup, and definitely prevents bloating. And then obviously everything we're talking about really is about optimizing your gut health, but you really want to support a balanced gut microbiome by incorporating those probiotic rich foods we talked about, and prebiotic foods too. That helps prepare like a really good environment for the good bacteria in your gut. Prebiotic foods are things like bananas, even onions and garlic are considered prebiotics. Um, and they just help maintain a healthy gut bacteria balance and help reduce inflammation. And then always something you want to be aware of are environmental toxins because those lead to inflammation in the body. And the more you can eliminate that, the better you're going to feel on all levels. So if you are, you know, pumping synthetic fragrances into your home through like air fresheners or plugins or things like that, you want to look at removing that. It's just another step to reducing that chronic inflammation that leads to all of those issues with bloating and gut issues, and it's a domino effect. So these lifestyle changes can help provide some lasting relief. And I am going to pass it off to Sherry now, who's got some more natural solutions to share.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us. And before I talk about some natural solutions and other options that we can do to help support that bloat in our gut health, a little bit about me. So I have been using Young Living products since 2015. And the reason that I found Young Living is because I was also diagnosed with an autoimmune disease. And it was out of the blue. I was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis, and it was a full body flare. I went from feeling great to by the end of 1 week, I couldn't even like lift my arms above my head. And after a journey of a few months with a lot of meds that did very little to help that, I actually went to a class similar to this to say, okay, there has to be something better. And I started learning about all the inflammation in my body and that connection that we've already heard about between the gut and the rest of our overall health, that gut brain connection. And I have to be honest, if we're going to talk about bloat, I'm just going to say, I didn't know you're supposed to go to the bathroom like twice a day, like the bathroom, you know what I mean? I thought once every 3 days was normal. Like that's what it was my whole life. And so I started researching and looking into some of the products. And I'm very proud to say that my digestive system is on point. It took a little while, but I have really worked on repairing and healing my gut for good gut health so that the rest of me feels great. So let's talk about some solutions that if just your diet and lifestyle changes aren't working. So I am going to talk about some Young Living products that are some enzymes. So Young Living has 5 different enzymes. So the first one I want to talk about is called Essential Enzymes 4. And it's interesting because it comes in a little blister pack like this. When we think of a supplement, it usually comes in just like a bottle. But this is in a blister pack, and there's 2 capsules that you would take. One is a fast acting, and one is a delay. And the delay release is so that it can focus on your lower digestive tract issues. It's great if you're a big meat eater because meat tends to sit low in our digestive tract. This you would usually take following a meal. It's great if you are eating proteins, eggs, grains, fruit, vegetables, sweets and sugars, pasta, bread. So this is great to take like right before you're eating, ideally, and if you forgot, take it right after. It is also infused with anise, fennel, ginger, rosemary, tarragon, and lemongrass essential oils, and they are super supportive to our system. And like Stacy said in the chat, this is great because it's great for travel. Now, the next one I want to talk about is essential zyme. So yes, this was essential zymes 4. This is essential zyme. This is a great overall enzyme. So this is what I started with, and to be honest, this is what I still use every day. It's a great overall enzyme. It's great for fats, eggs, meat, and it contains betaine HCl, which is really great if you have a low stomach acid. It's going to help your system break down those foods better. This is really great for breaking down those really tough fats that cause your system to be overworked. And it also helps your liver function as well. So this is slower acting. When I started taking this, originally I would take 3 a day. But I have found for me, just to maintain my system, I take this every morning as soon as I wake up on an empty stomach. I have found that it kind of sets up my digestive tract for what I'm going to eat throughout the day. But it's not enough by itself if you struggle with digestive issues. And then we have 2 more zymes. We have allerzyme and detoxzyme. Now, both of these are vegetarian, and it's nice if you need extra support, especially with dairy products. So these are kind of like the, oops, I shouldn't have eaten that. I better take some of these enzymes. These are not an everyday item for me, and I know a lot of us will take these when we have those oops moments. So allerzyme is great if you are prone to food sensitivities. So this is really nice for the dairy issues. Like if you know you have a dairy intolerance and you ate some cheese when you were at the party, take this as soon as you've eaten it. This is great because it has lactase. Think about like those lactate things you can buy over the counter. But this is a great natural way. It's also going to help you break down some of those sweets and sugars, those simple carbs that you've eaten that you were like, oh, I shouldn't have eaten all that tonight. I actually will like grab a handful of these when I eat what I shouldn't have. And then detoxzyme is another great one, and it helps promote cleansing and detoxifying. Now, with my autoimmune, I'm gluten light. I'm just going to say it. I'm not gluten free. I know I should be. I've done all the tests. I actually do not have a gluten sensitivity, but I know it causes inflammation. I know it's not great for me, and I like bread. Sorry, I do. So I have gone gluten light since January. I have restricted myself to gluten 1 time a week, which is a huge shift for me. All of these changes I have made have also helped me reduce 15 pounds of bloat, and specifically in the past like 4 months. So I've really been really aggressive about watching my diet. But when I do have those, I need my piece of bread day, I will take kind of like 2 or 3 detoxzymes right after I eat it to help my body break it down, especially because I'm not eating it frequently anymore. So with any kind of detox, you need, if you're doing like a cleanse, you need some kind of digestive enzymes to help ease your gastric functioning. This is also great because it's going to help support the liver and gallbladder. This is fast acting. So again, with those oops, take this after you eat it to help everything kind of settle out. And then if you've got littles with digestive issues, we do have one called the KidSense Mighty Zyme. So it's great for their growing digestive systems, and it's got enzymes that will break down proteins, digest fats, and lactase. So that's all the enzymes. So what else can we do if you've already added one of these enzymes? There's 2 other products I want to talk about. The first one that Stacy already kind of alluded to with some of our probiotic foods is our Life9 probiotic. This is amazing. We know our digestive tract is lined with billions of bacteria called our microbiome. It works for us if we support it. I have not gone since 2015 one night without taking my probiotic before bed. You need to help maintain and restore your gut microbiome. Certain foods we eat can destroy it. Illnesses, medications can destroy it. It is important to put back in there what we are harming and removing from it. I love this quote. It's most people, including many physicians, do not realize that 80% of your immune system is located in your digestive system, making a healthy gut a major focal point if you want to maintain optimal health. Fix your gut, the rest of it follows. It is so critical. And then finally, our amazing Ningxia Red. If you don't already Ningxia, you should. It is a fantastic antioxidant, mineral and nutrient rich supplement. We know about the correlation of all of these things working together. So if you're adding Ningxia Red into your diet, it is amazing because it's a blend of superfruit, essential oils, natural ingredients. It's rich in antioxidants, and it helps protect your digestive tract from other oxidative stresses and inflammation. The fiber content is going to help promote regular bowel movements, and it supports that balanced gut microbiome. So this is something that is great to help that natural detoxification process, and it's supporting our liver, which then enhances your body's ability to eliminate toxins. So these are all the things we want to do to help get rid of that bloat. So I know we're running out of time. So what are your next steps? Grab some Ningxia Red in the 14-day reset. And if you're not familiar, go to the person that sent you to this call and add one of these digestive enzymes in with your order to help you get the most benefit from it. And then in December, we are going to be having another class about supporting your immune system, because we're talking about how all of these things are connected. So grab some Ningxia Red, eat clean, work hard to reduce the stresses in your life. And I know it's hard at this time of year.